Yo, I don't know who this big dude is, but I bet I could take him. I could take him. How's everybody doing? It has been a little while, and we are finally ready to enter Endwalker. Emotionally, not too sure. Physically, yeah, I'm good to go. I had been wanting to level up a bunch of other jobs, so that way I could have more stuff to play. That didn't happen. Instead, I got everything to at least level 50 Blue Mage You Don't Count. Everything else, I managed to get up to level 50, so that way everything's at least a little bit in line. And starting soon, I am going to be going through and focusing on like one or two other jobs. What are those little guys? Are those mammoths? Those are mammoths. Those are your friends, or your siblings, GG. Hang out with them. You didn't like that idea. Everybody's here. Graha. My coworker got me a little Graha Tia sticker. I love it. I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is Chrysanthemum and Estinian's first time in Charlian, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit, and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Valdesian Annex. How does that sound? 'Tis a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Levaur estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood all the same. I am equally untethered, as it were. There is no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetheryte Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. I, too, have places I would be remiss in not visiting forthwith. By thy leave. What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. Oh, we know. Yeah, see you in 2 expansions, buddy. But I could... Oh. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course, you'll have me. Of course, Graha. Come, Chris, Charlian awaits. So it does. I still don't know how I feel about the Endwalker quest except... sound. After you, my friend, I am more than content to follow your lead. While Graha's accompanying you, next try speaking with Cryo. All set, then let us be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the Last Stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Kryle is also accompanying you. Lead you to companions of the Last Stand and speak with Kryle at the designated location. More of these. With all the unusual wares coming and going at all hours, I expect the assistance of an intrepid adventurer would be highly appreciated. And so I see no reason why you couldn't undertake any tasks that pique your interest. You have been cleared with the immigration officials, after all. I look forward to the day your name is celebrated in Charlie in the same way it is in Eorzea. God, Graha, I love you so much. This place is called the Peristyle, and it's the first stop for cargo unloaded at the docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other imports vital to running an island nation, but also supplies that further Charlian's pursuit of knowledge, namely large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stacks certainly seems to keep the attendants busy. This place is really pretty, and the theme for it, I really like the music. Now that is a sight one could hardly forget, the great statue of Thaliak. As a student of Baldessian, I was usually quartered on the Isle of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. The statue leading out towards the sea is known as Thaliak's Stow, so named for the statue of the scholar which stands at its end. As you know, the Charlian people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Thaliak was chosen as our patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmatism than belief, an alignment of principles, as it were. You may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restrictive as that of, say, the Ashgardians. Individual Charlians can and do worship the divinities of their choosing. One moment. Yeah, I'm wearing all Thaliak stuff on my red mage. I thought that skirt looked familiar. I guess it's more similar to the front of mine. Huh. Either way. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Charlian tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland, as encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf. The prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first and taste a distant second. There was one pupil of the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Charlian, the one and only bastion of the culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu. Not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you were a typical Charlian when it came to cheap and convenient, Raha. But surely Tatru was taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop in when the time permits, and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs at the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Aetherite Plaza. Who can sell me food? Is it Mr. Dickin? Nope. I guess nobody there will sell me food. I like your coat. It's a really nice coat. An unusual shape, isn't it? Oh, one sec. I assure you, however, that it's a perfectly functioning aetherite. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Charlian stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of Allegan aetherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Charlian's largest marketplace. Snow. Charlian is so pretty. I love the fresh falling snow. Someone is messaging me. One sec. Honey is asking me about backstory for a character that I forgot about. There. Speaking of aetherites, those teleportation fees do add up after a while, which is why I tended to rely on the far cheaper ferry services. I was pleasantly surprised when Mistress Tataru informed me that the Scions are reimbursed there for transportation costs as part of our duties. Huh? Tataru, we need to have a conversation. But I find old habits are hard to break. That, and I'd rather not be bothered filling out the necessary paperwork. Oh, never mind. I'm good. That's the entrance to the Confluence. I have no doubt their expertise will prove useful at some point, so I suggest you remember the way here. Okay. Ooh, market board and summoning bell. Very useful. I'll head north and grab that Ethernet later. Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Charlian, as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetherite Plaza, follow the path north, and then climb the stairs up to that imposing building at the very top. Well, now you've taken me almost over here, so I'm gonna grab these two Aethernets. If I can find the path. There's the path. I love the way that Lalafels run. I love the way that Lalafels walk more, though. Just the big steps. There's a couple. I think I have 3 more. Yeah. Because I'd already had this one. So when I come up here, I'll just grab that one. Journey's End. Wasn't there a Journey's End in Overend? No, that was the inn at Journey's Head. I'm gonna grab this Aethernet before I go through that. You look kind of cool. Oh! That's somebody in my FC. I'm gonna hit the Mandeville for him. They're in a cutscene, so I don't know if they even realize I'm here. This grand structure before you is the rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Get jiggy with it, yeah! Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Graha? You seem awfully distracted. He's staring at me. My apologies, from here one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Sharlayan. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town. A community. A Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the counselors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. God, I love Graha so much. Hearing him talk about, like, the Crystarium gets me really emotional. He tried so hard. I'm gonna go and grab this Aethernet real quick, and then probably swing over south. Is there? No, I don't think I can jump that. I had tried to commission an artist for a little animated emote of my PNG doing the Manderville, but they never got back to me. I had tried to commission them for a few different ones. This is the last one I need, the Baldessian Annex. Touchy to rock. You've attuned yourself to all the aetherites. Oh, no free extra ones? Interesting. Oh, Emma's barking. What's the matter? We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this is where those who put ashore with mighty Archon... That's a made-up name. Archon Yun built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as a residential district for the most important officials and the oldest of Charlian families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Levailleur. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Charlian tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightened experience. My phone's exploding, why? What happened? Thank you, phone, for telling me that I'm live. I know that I'm live. Now, shall we head directly to the Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, then follow the path below the Aetherite Plaza. Correct. After you, Chris. Yes, that's right. The way to the Baldessian Annex. This way. Huh? Why is it over there? That's not the annex. Oh, that's just a different place to have a little conversation. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive on the doorstep of Phenomenon. But I think you've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Inside with you then. Do. Phenomenon. I'm back, and I've brought Chrysanthemum and Raha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship then. Hello, Graha. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Chrysanthemum. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Why do you only call him Raha? Ojika. Ojika Sunjika. It's been an age. Allow me to introduce Ojika Sunjika, Administration Officer of the Students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. You may recall meeting his cousin, Ejika. Oh, yes, Eureka. I've read the initial reports. Quite a shock to hear what's become of the Isle. Do take care if you have the opportunity to rejoin the expedition. I do still need to finish Eureka. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Charlian. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the Isle itself, vanished, the annex has served as our base of operations. Now that would make things a little difficult. And yet it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. I feel like it's kind of weird for Cryo to be so obsessed with the students of Baldessian. I'm pretty sure she is Cryo Baldessian. But first we must ensure that the Telepharoi fail. Through that door on the left there is the main hall, where we can discuss our options moving forward. Hopefully in a voice-acted cutscene. Once everyone arrives, that is. You probably have time to rest before discussions begin in earnest. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the engine, so please, feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. What the fuck do you mean, the nap rooms? Take me there immediately. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. Far more than some cheap roadside inn. You may be assured. 'Twas simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the engine just to steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Mood. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. I'm sure you would. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. In here. Feeling refreshed and alert? Our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. As you wish.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
Yes! God, Urian J is so pretty now.
It's fine.
Everyone is.
We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroi's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum.
Yeah.
As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louissois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if,
Fortuno.
having stared unwinking into the face of impending doom, it simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bad situation.
In response to this threat, the satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. 'Tis possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
That's me.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, and having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice.
I'm going to Radzat-Han.
But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnarian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts.
Yeah, that tracks. It's alright, I got it.
You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course, the more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavnair. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavnair on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nidana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
So I gotta go. I have 2 different quest lines going right now then. Again? Alright, hold on. I want to make things simple on myself. I usually follow a list that tells me where I am in the story. So what I'm going to do is see which side that list has me do first. MSQ. Endwalker. Okay, so it tells me that I should start with the old Sharlayan. So I'm going to accept them both, and then I'm going to work on old Sharlayan. I have Kryle's introductions in hand, so if you're ready to set out, then so are we. Having been to Thavnair before, I can travel by Aetheryte. But what of the rest of you? Another sea voyage would waste time we do not have. Kryle was of the same mind, and has already secured the aid of the good folk of the Confluence. We'll take ourselves there. The Confluence, thou sayest? I'm afraid so, my friend. That's where... Oh... Thou wilt recall the hunt for Iceheart, unto whose sanctuary we delivered thee owing to the knowledge of our comrade, Moonbrita. Moonbrita was an authority of aetherology, the field of study she did embark upon in pursuit of her parents' example. Both are authorities in their own right, and both are researchers at the Confluence. Haven't you gone to see them yet? I attempted to do so earlier, but to my shame my courage failed me at the last, as it hath the many times I thought to reach out to them after sending that fateful letter. Neither time nor introspection have revealed unto me the words I should speak, and thus have I kept my silence. Whether you come with us or no is your choice and yours alone. If it is too difficult, we'll manage. Thou art kind to say so, but I have no intention of forsaking our cause. I shall go to the Confluence, and I shall face that which hath been long overdue. If it's settled then, let us be off. When we arrive, we should look for a researcher named Kite. So that is for another time. An unsettling change has come over Charlian, but the other will divine the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, the questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Sorry, they're reading stuff. Which is why I began scouring Charlian's archives of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Oops. Oh, wait. Where am I going? This way. Mender. Fix my stuff, please. Oh, my stuff is all good. That's right, I haven't really touched Dark Knight. Hitting the books. This way. Beavis. Are you familiar with the Wandering Minstrel, and tales he spins never failed to engage in the thrall? What I wouldn't give to receive a masterclass in storytelling from the minstrel himself. You are not what I thought you were, and what I hoped you were. I thought you were a reference to Beavis and Butthead. Ah, sorry about that. It is... Oh, it is allergy season. And I didn't want to blow everybody's ears out. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenon. Charlene's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that. For the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Google Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Charlian is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Ishtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alice and Alphino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you were only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Charlian history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading! I am going to need an outfit change. To something a little bit more fitting of someone going through a library. Long, long ago, on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a Rogadin man by the name of Njonkref. Njonkref was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Njonkref's crew hauled them aboard his ark. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Njonkref wove a mighty spell of teleportation, and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Abalathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Njonkref gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast, where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Charlian, where we live in to this day. Red Book. Roads of Old the Colony. Many years ago, on the banks of Athalic in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Charlian colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned vision of the Charlians. 50 years later, the Forum established a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Charlian colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the city itself Charlian, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Charlian inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following its exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony, and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire. This book does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum, or cover the history of the Charlian motherland in great detail. I love Idleshire. That's where Gigi lives. the voice of a growing city. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum in which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum, as we know it today, convened and created. The idea of the 99 is very interesting. It almost sounds vaguely like Congress, but with a very... what's the word? A much larger demographic instead of just two parties. Have you ever gazed at the skies and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space. Yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alak who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamun, and who sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past? That their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly, but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? This book is on the wrong subject. Search for works which contain details on blah 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 on the forum. Yeah, I got it. I'm just reading. Don't tell me what to do. Forever 20 Summers? Okay. Okay, hold on. We gotta... My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19, or 23, or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, aetherological, and arcane viewpoint. It's just an a guide to long life. Hell yeah. Stewards of Wisdom. This sounds like the last one. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Yunkref, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the Northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior, and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings, for the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star. They could eschew the tools of war, and with knowledge deliver the world. I like Sharlayan. What's up with these fancy glowy rugs? Oh, they aren't even rugs. It's literally just like a little piece of magic holding me up. That's kind of cool. Sorry, were you waiting long? Not that long. I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Cryo should also be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final day specifically. So we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. God, I cannot read today, but that's okay. I can't read most days. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare, and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family's servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position, and that of the Forum, will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day. I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or do they not live here in the city? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsabard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavner. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Makode to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the sea solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Alligan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces. But Garlemald renamed the region Locus Aminus. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Like Nilvas Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Alvigan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Alliganai no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alag. As the last child born with the elegant eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Charlian citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Swab, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Charlians than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such a love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the form's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Chris. More company should be arriving any moment now. And now I wait again. We've returned with our selections, although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kryl has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I don't know what I can really give you, but I can certainly try. I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarat firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. My thanks. Now where to begin? First things first. What kind of phenomena did the Ancient encounter as the final days drew nigh? Hold on. Sorry, allergies are beating my ass. Oh, I don't know what I selected. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. Hold on, let me go back on stream and see if I can come with a, if I can find. So the options were a complete destabilization of creation magics. Primals of unrivaled power were summoned from the ether, and the worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. And the option that was selected was a complete destabilization of creation magic, which is true. That is exactly what I remember. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground. Indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Eustola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Ascians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? The entire star was engulfed by disaster all at once. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. Alpha, no, you can answer this one. The entire star was engulfed by disaster all at once. That's what they're trying to do, I think. I think you may be misremembering. As I recall, 'twas more of a gradual spread. The Amoritines spoke of a keening sound that rose from the land itself just before a region was visited by catastrophe. We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were in the midst of the madness. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of Numenon's Mehmets, and ask after any books which may make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive actions did they take? They summoned Zodiark. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart. So many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set right. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark. A trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Vana and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. You've seen what they're doing with these towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magic? I think so. Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just a pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Y'shtola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Wait again. I have been waiting for so long. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search for the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned of the source's reflection from the Gurren oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. That's a very good point, actually. It stands to reason that my colleagues, be they Archons or Counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. The horrors of the final days. Yet when you confronted Master Fortuno with knowledge of the Telophoroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Yeah, if they know about the final days, then they know more than they're letting on. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty, whether they contain mention of the final days or no. these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Well, I mean, I have to go to Radzat Han eventually, but I was going to wait. Because I don't want to see Moonbreeder's parents. That sounds really sad. You labor for what feels like an age as he stole his research assistant. Hello. Oh, whoops. You go over there right now? Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Did you tell them how much Moonbreeder meant to me? I'll go tell them in a minute. Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a memo at the research desk will point you to the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Okay, I'll go and see Moonbreeder's parents, but I'm not going to Radzat Han yet. I'm gonna finish up this part, and then I'll work on Radzat Han. Or Thavnair. I don't know for sure if I'm going to Radzat Han. That's just the only place in Thavnair that I know by name. The only other thing I know about Thavnair is that they have Thavnarian chai. I think it was the Spiffing Brit ruined the economy with Thavnarian chai. Aw, you're cute. Well now, this is rather a lot of stern faces. Are my library books overdue again? Not to our knowledge. We're associates of Kryl and the students of Baldessian. We seek passage to Thavnair and understand that you can assist us. Ah, the test subjects. That's an awful thing for you to say. Welcome, welcome. Test subjects? Oh, you hadn't heard. Well then, allow me to explain. So in order to travel to an aetherite, you ordinarily need to be attuned to it beforehand. Otherwise, you can't use it as a beacon to seek out while you're a mess of ether hurtling along the life stream. An inconvenient but incontrivable limitation of aetherite teleportation. But what if I were to tell you there's a way to travel to an aetherite without being attuned to it? A way to teleport instantly to places you've never been. For long years, we've labored to make such travel possible, that people might move about more freely. Allow me to explain. Fucking dies. Yeah, I've got a bad cough today. And we've finally done it. We've created a new kind of aetherite that doesn't require attunement. Truly, that changes everything. Well, my language may have been a bit misleading. The user need not attune to these aetherites, but the aetherites themselves have been pre-attuned to each other, thereby facilitating travel between the 2 points. But it just so happens that our first test pair of aetherites, one had been installed here in Sharlayan, and the other in Yilliman, a port town in Thavnair. As you may know, our nation has long maintained strong ties with Radzat Han, and indeed we owe much of our breakthrough to the contributions of their alchemists. So to sum up, we're to test these aetherites. How fortuitous for you. I should mention that an accident has impaired my ability to channel ether. Will this be a problem? Not at all. As a matter of fact, you might say these aetherites were made for people like your good self. The magics imbued within will whisk you away without any effort on your part. A veritable dream come true. And far be it from me to worry about such things, but do we have permission to make use of your shiny new invention? The only permission required is yours, so assuming you're willing, we're all set. It may come as a surprise, but we actually struggle to find test subjects. Most people seem to have an unreasonable fear of their souls gradually disintegrating as they drift helplessly in the life stream, in the statistically unlikely event that something does go awry. But it's plain that you want the most people. Mistress Krile truly knows how to pick 'em. I don't want to be here anymore. If I might change the subject. Are Master Wilfson and Mistress Bluida not present today? Oh, you didn't hear. They've recently resigned their posts. Their expertise was needed elsewhere. A large-scale project helmed by the Forum itself, as I understand, but I'm not privy to the details. I see. Any other questions? No? Then let's get going before you change your minds. Please see to your preparations and head outside to the Aetherite Plaza. I'll be along shortly. I guess we won't be meeting Minbreeda's parents. That's kind of a shame. I'll finish up this quest, and if I don't meet them by the end of it, then I will simply go about my way on Old Charlian. How will they know? Urion J sent them a letter after Minbreeda died, but he has not had the courage to actually go and see them.
Right, we're all set.
Oh, voice acted.
Just the four of you, was it?
That's right.
3. I'm already attuned to the crystal in Thavnir.
You are? Oh, I would have preferred more test subjects. Oh, well, never mind. If our 3 travelers could line up here, please.
They know how much I loved her if you don't go. Well, maybe if we find them later. It seems weird for them to bring them up
Yes,
if we're not going to
it's
meet them.
fine. Take a deep breath, and I'll soon have you soaring through the ether.
The ether?
Oh, and one last thing.
Oh no.
You
What
might
are you going to say?
experience a teensy-weensy touch of violent ethereal sickness. Good luck!
What? Long loading screen. Probably because I bet it's going to go straight into another cutscene. Ooh. Old Charlian. That's kind of neat. I like that. I like that symbol for the Scions, too. That would make a nice tattoo.
Home to city-state Rads at Khan. Rising from the southeast waters of the Bounty, this Isle of Plenty served as the battleground for a conflict between 2 peoples. Their cultures bled into one another until a unique amalgamation was distilled from the chaos, in a process not unlike their precious alchemy.
This place is really pretty.
Once solidified as a single nation, an adamant stance of neutrality would hold invaders at bay. For a time. Now across this vibrant isle creeps a fog of malice. What choice do you have?
Bleh.
What chance?
Oh, poor Urian J.
Against such an insidious foe.
Bleh. Big sicky. I like the style here. Oh no. Oh, we're all sick.
Seen fairer faces after a bout of bad shellfish.
Oh no. This isn't a good way to start an
Let me bring
adventure.
you something to drink. That should help settle your bellies.
It's a good thing that we're here. Like, it saved us a lot of time. Oh, poor Urian J.
There was a note with Kryle's instructions.
What was it?
Don't let a Stinian roam the markets alone. He's alarmingly bad with coin.
That's true. We gotta go find him. I also hope you know that I will be giving you fake tattoos by drawing on you with body markers. I want to get a good set eventually, but you'll be my tester. Okay. You managed to will yourself to your feet, but given your condition, will you be able to reach Estinian in time? Where is the aetherite? I really like the aetherites here. We got a cute little swirly. Blah, big sicky. Feel gross. Ether sickness. Severe nausea is reducing movement speed. I have to sprint. I have to let Estidian know. Estidian, no! Don't spend money! Estidian! You there. I need 3 drinks. Something that helps with ether sickness. By the Mansuya, a traveler. Greetings. Greetings and welcome. You are wise, good sir, to come to me. My special amra lassi, made with only the finest and freshest ingredients, is famed for calming unruly bellies. By way of a warm welcome to Thavner, I'm pleased to offer it to you for the low price of 19,800 gil. For not 1, not 2, but 3 bottles. A bargain among bargains. Is that an elephant man? It sure is. I love it here. The price is high road robbery, and you want to say as much to Estinian, but you realize any words of warning you cry out will be accompanied by your last meal. You must stand before Estinian and using gestures deny that the deal is fair. Nye. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. I thought you could barely stand. What do you need to tell me that's so urgent? Nuh-uh. Wait, I shouldn't buy the lassie? This merchant is swindling me. Ah! Sincerest apologies, sir, but I appear to have my prices confused. It's actually 1,890 gil for 3 bottles of lassie. That confusion would have been quite costly for both of us. Very well then, your coin. Here, a bottle for each of you. Take them to the others and get some rest. And you don't spend any money. I'll be back after I've explored the town. Estinian, no! Estinian, come back! Don't fade into nothingness! Damn you. Why can't I just have a sip of mine and then take it? Oh no. This is bad. You guys. Made with only the finest and freshest ingredients, this armor-flavored lassie is boasted to settle unruly stomachs. Have a sip. Praise be to the 12. My stomach doth loosen its death grip. My heartfelt thanks to thee and Estinian, and to the fine fruits of this land. You were in time. Excellent. You've spared us Taturu's wrath. Sweet, sweet release. If you haven't already, you should have yours too. Why is it that anything involving Thancred and Urianger immediately turns into a comedy? I'm not complaining. Right, I'm ready to get on with it. That lassie truly worked wonders. Back on your feet, I see. Thy hair. Aye, I've bound it. 'Tis the most I could do against the heat, short of shedding my armor. Smash. May I ask where you got the cord for it? A local vendor. The man said it's a Thavnarian weave. Tough and not easily unraveled. And how much did it cost you? 9,400 gil. A steal, I was told. 'Tis nothing fancy, but I've always valued function over form. Estinian, please. It's a hair tie. You just spent the equivalent of like 10 different first class plane tickets. Essentially. You've spent as much as me traveling literally between dimensions at least 10 times. Estinian, please. Take the armor off? What? Who said that? That's incredible. I dare say not even Alphino can hold a candle to you. It's not uncommon for merchants to set their prices high, but doesn't it seem excessive here? Are all Hannish merchants so unscrupulous? I expected the Azure Dragoon to put up more of a fight. Yeah, I expected you to put up more of a fight, Estinian. On that subject, I shall refrain from making comment, yet I cannot help but observe that the merchants seem overzealous in their pursuit of profit. Claiming Thavnair as its dominion, the nation of Radzadhan hath long thrived as a hub of commerce. In the Beninging, there are the Arkasodra, a Matunga tribe indigenous to this island. Over time, they came to be joined by other races, and through their intermingling a culture rich and distinct did emerge. From alchemy to textiles, the products of Hannish culture have come to be celebrated and coveted the world over. A development only aided by the nation's prime location as a wayward betwixt east and west. All of this hath combined to make a trading power at Radzadhan. Yet such a status could not be taken for granted. Nay, it must needs be maintained through judicious governance and stringent regulation. Neither of which I see any evidence, given the merchants are at a gateway town are free to fleece hapless travelers and tarnish the reputation of the nation at large. Just so, that opportunistic pricing is rampant doth suggest that oversight is much weakened, or mayhap that the people have fallen upon hard times. Whatever the truth may be, 'twould be prudent to ascertain the current state of affairs. Prudent and practical, aye. We have not to lose by learning more. So ere we to seek out Kryl's acquaintance. Shall we see what information we can gather here in Edelman? Excellent. We didn't exactly get off to a flying start, but we'll make up for it. A blend of yogurt and spices. This refreshing drink is infused with the mellow sweetness of the amra fruit. Well, I will be doing all this later. I just want to make sure I attuned. I did attune. And I'll unlock the gemstone trader. Blah, 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 blah. Gemstones. But what do you have, though? Skin, hide, amra, and a Hamsa tenderloin. Okay. Back to the Northern Empty, to Old Charlian. 1,100 gil teleportation fee. And back over here. That's the wrong place. So, I think that since we had started, what is it? The game that we played yesterday, Ghost of Tsushima. I think that it is going to make it so that I want to play Samurai. And I have a good reason for it canonically for Chris. If Xenos is coming back, and Xenos has decided that he needs to learn a new weapon for our next fight, I am going to beat him with the weapon that he chose to abandon. God, this sword looks cool. Not as cool as the one that I want, but I'm not a high enough level for it yet. I gotta be level 70. So that is my headcanon for why I am going to not do Reaper. I'm going to stick with Samurai. Also, because I want a big hat. Ready for a tea break, Chris? I know I am. I'm always ready for a tea break. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Da, 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 da. It's not a bad theme. I don't hate it. I just don't know if I like it as much as the Shadowbringers one. Waiting woman, you'll continue waiting. Get me into the water. That water's not that deep I could swim. Although, to be honest, that water's so shallow I'd probably snap both my ankles. As busy as ever, I see. A very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophori. I might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Peranduri? I know that's not how it's pronounced, but I'm going to say it anyway. What? What? What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telophoroi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear, and... Wait, you're that House Levayor girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to that rumor. Sorry. Sneezes snuck up on me. And this man with... Oh, yep. Already read that. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Chris. Was that Graha? No, it's Smitutia. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telophoroi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levayor. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortuneau that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Mr. Dickon. What say you, Dickon? Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alice I see? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studio. It seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. I think I'm good. Oh, God. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? Nuh-uh. It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levayor. No matter how discreet Master Fortuneau may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Charlian has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. Maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlene, aren't you? Yeah. And few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're settling down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Yeah, I got it. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Makode gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Omelette by water. Lobster for the guy. Oh, this one's omelette. No, this one's tea set. Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. Hey, have you ever heard of a Talofaroi? A Talofa who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them, or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the 6th astral era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. Nerd. Have an omelette. Ah, finally. 2468, let's dig in, no time to waste. Talofaroi? Yes? What? The Talofaroi? Ah yes, I remember seeing that name in the latest Gazette. That had some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Hello. Would you like a lobster? Urbane banter with a smile? What does this mean? You don't need to butter me up, you know. I've already ordered one of the most expensive things on the menu. You mean, this? At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved to and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. It does look really good. The final days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It might be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things we haven't got here in Charlian. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain that was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Talofaroi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this. Thank you, Lobster Man. Any trouble with the customers? We're able to get everyone talking. There's people at the docks. Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing your part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. That would be a good place for us to watch the docks, too. Can we see the dock from here? We kinda can. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Yeah.
It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Charlian? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Yeah, that's what I was told about, like, the Gleaners. Well, I wasn't told where they were going.
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the Gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And Gleaners
Yeah, probably.
answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Alright. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead out to Numenon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Back over to here? Yeah, studio. Where am I going? Over there. Welcome back, Chris. Oh! Oh, hi there. What did I miss? So far, you have missed that nobody wants to talk about the final days or the Telophoroi. We think that there's some people called the Gleaners that are gonna possibly help us. And then also, Moonbreeda's family has resigned from their post, so it's hard for us to meet with them. I went to Thavnair for like a minute, just to like unlock it. Oh, and also Estinian spent almost 10,000 gil on a hair tie. Welcome back, Chris. I'm trying to read what this says, but it's really blurry. Welcome back, Chris. Nothing like a walk to clear your head. Or gone for a walk to clear your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the cleaners. Yeah, they might be getting like a bunch of stuff from Eorzea because of the final days. So people do know. They just haven't really said much about it publicly. It makes sense. The cleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats. But as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in gleaner traffic and in cargo. It certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Ishtola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Chris and Alvise learned at the Last Stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing about that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike those apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Cleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it a stretch to conclude that the Cleaners' recent activities are in search of the Forum's secretive ends. In which case our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. A fine idea. What should we expect down there? Anything would be better than burying my head in another dusty book. I understand not everyone is a studious type. Consider this a welcome change of pace, then. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I would like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Why do you call him Raha instead of Graha? Graha sounds better. I will be ignoring your mannerisms and calling him Graha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Let's go. I don't care about stairs. Dropping the tribe letter from an Miko name is typically done as a sign of familiarity. Oh. Well then, I guess I won't ignore her mannerisms. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow... Why are you giving me a tutorial on how to follow someone? Ain't no way you're gonna make me walk this slow. It's pleasant here among the trees, but we should really move along. Yeah, I know. Toggle walk. How do I toggle walk? There we go. I still walk faster. Now we run. Try to keep up. I still run faster. Keep to the path, straight ahead. We cross this bridge. Well, we don't have a whole lot of other options, I'll say. She does have little legs. Then hit your sprint button, loser. Up here. The rostra, not far now. Then keep moving! Have you met the mom yet? No, we met the dad. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to keep coming, or if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. I like that they have started to be like, hey, attune to the Aetherite if you haven't already. Do it now. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone into the lift, and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves. And this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation.
Sheeps.
Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Thank you, Emmett.
Not what you expected.
I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Ugh.
Did you call to me just now?
Nope. Dude, that's a bad sign.
Oh.
We're gonna get teleported to the first again.
I must be a bit dizzy from the descent.
Graha's here.
Fine, I'm sure.
Who could be talking to us?
Let's get to work, shall we?
Ruh-roh, Scions are getting headaches again. No! Dubbin. What do you have to say? You wanna know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. Your exchange with Dubbin has taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthos. Let me think. The Rhea seeds should be number 1058, cumin seeds 1059, snurbbleberry 1060, or were they 1061? What's a snurbbleberry, and can I have one? It sounds delicious. My head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Kurthan carrots for Garabanian carrots? What then? Preparing for expansion? Aaronville. I've heard your name. I think it was on a sticker. You're here to help or give more headaches? Because you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Let's see. I was looking at my phone for a sec. Any luck, Chris? What tales do the Gleaners have to tell? Busy, busy. Sorry. Think that somebody may have been about to steal packages off our porch. Interesting. So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they struggle to sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right. The Forum is definitely up to something. And if they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process... we would do well to learn more of what specifically the cleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're a game Chrysanthemum, I have an idea. Brother, you don't have to kneel down to speak to her. Didn't one of the gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, you might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. Do you need help? You wish to help me find the marmots. I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. The name's Aranville, friend. Specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Naxian marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For a mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present. So, there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in the sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so you'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. Why was that such a hard sentence to read? I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Alright. I am actually going to go ahead and call it here. I joined a MC on GTA last night, and I was told that I should fly in to meet up with the president. So I thank you all for hanging out as we took our first look at Endwalker. So far, I'm enjoying it. Seems like a pretty good time. Let's find somebody to throw a quick raid out to. Let's see. I don't see anybody that I want to throw a raid to. So I'm just going to go ahead and end the stream. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hope you all have a good one, and see you all later.